point into our simulated countdown.
Lunchtime, kids!
Hello, friends. It's lunchtime.
Hello, welcome everyone. This is the Lunch Break Show. I am John. Either way,
what's going on here?
So yeah, it
Turned off.
No, it's somebody.
Somebody.
that's our guest down
God.
there, Michael
Yeah.
Moulton.
Mystery
We found the
There we
culprit,
go.
Michael Moulton. We're also live on Facebook, showing behind the scenes. And there's one thing that you do that I wanted to steal. I wanted to take the awesomeness that you're doing to gain audience and to participate and have me and Zach have to follow along here. And as soon as our internet's back up, I'll log on to Facebook. And one of the things that you do is you eat or you like play with the hearts and the likes that come across the screen. And so Zach and I are going to play Rochambeau.
Is that what they call this? Rochambeau?
Yeah. And whoever wins has to eat the hearts as they come across the screen.
So the victor has to do this?
Yes.
Okay.
Because
I like
this.
I like
What
this.
a great thing to have to do.
We're not going to do any 2 out of 3 nonsense, right? We're doing this one at a time.
One at a time.
Okay.
So
And how are we doing this? 1, 2, 3, shoot?
On three.
One,
on
two,
three,
shoot?
we shoot. On
Okay.
three.
All right. 1, 2, shoot. 1, 2, shoot.
There we go.
Awesome.
So I will be eating the hearts, right? Because paper beats rock.
I think so. Yeah.
So as hearts come across the screen, you guys have to help me catch them.
Yeah.
One thing that you do, Michael, is you go down low like this or the other side.
Well, you got to find them. So what you got to do is you got to have a camera that you're looking at. Okay.
So right here.
On my page here. So what I always do is when we start the show out, and what we do is we deliver a message. So we want a lot of people to hear the message. So immediately smash that share button. Smash that share button. Share this out on your timeline so your friends can watch this. And here they come right now. See the hearts coming up right now?
I don't see them. Where do I go?
You have to do it because y'all are so high tech. Y'all got the cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
Right.
So if it's on my camera, but you can
I think
see.
you need to lean further to your left, Josh.
You just have to
going to be
get way out.
Okay, there you go.
Way
There
out
you go.
there
Now
on
look at my phone there.
Okay. So it's going to be on.
Now there come the hearts. And now if they put the camera, you got to put the Matt. If you put the camera just on Josh,
Switch back to
that's
Josh so we can
Okay.
see this.
So-
Here we go. Where are we at here?
so you put the camera
It's
just on
coming.
Josh.
Inevitably.
It'll be there. It'll be there
All right.
eventually.
God, look how many of those there are.
Yeah. So we got a lot of people. Let's see who that. I think that's Gidget. That's my girl Gidget.
Oh,
We got
Gidget.
a great following.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Gidget. So here we go. So am I doing it
Gidget,
right here?
There you go. There you go.
There
Now
it
get
is.
in there and eat
All
your
right.
some. There you go.
There's
Other
a
way.
little bit of a
Other
delay
way.
here, so maybe the wrong side. There it is.
There you
Got
go.
it. Yeah.
That's hard to do.
Well
How do you
done.
do that?
You gotta get way over there. Yeah.
Play around in it. So that's impressive.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
well
a lot
done.
of 13 years in radio. I can honestly, I've never had to eat hearts as they came across the screen.
You grow every day here.
Yeah, every day, getting better and better.
I love
every
that
day.
you include the sound because I wouldn't have. I would have been a very quiet eater.
Well, yeah, of course. You're
Mad
all in.
respect.
You can't go half-hearted. I see Michael when he's doing a show, and he's all in. He gets the hearts and he
That's it,
puts
man.
them in a cup and all different kinds of
That's
fun
it.
things.
Look at it. They're still flying. We got them
Yeah.
flying everywhere.
Look at
that.
They love. They just go everywhere. And what's really neat about it is it stimulates the algorithm. And it's really neat from the social media standpoint because we talk about a very deadly disease, and we talk about a disease of alcoholism and drug addiction.
Yeah.
And the disease takes people out in the masses. I mean, it doesn't play. It takes out people by tons and tons of numbers. So we want the recovery to do the same thing. And you're seeing we got a great following, got great family here at the people that are logging in on our page, and they smash those hearts, they smash those likes, they share it out to all their pages, they share it out to groups. And so, part their donation, they're giving back, they're getting out of self is share the show to one of your groups.
Yeah.
And then if the show gets a little lame, I say, okay, like watch this. All right, everybody, watching the show, let's do a 10 heart push. Push that heart 10 times right now, and you'll start seeing them fly, and you'll see everybody, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's smash that thing and get them hearts flying. and they'll get them going. So you'll start seeing them here coming. Boom.
Oh, wow.
There
Whoa,
they come.
yeah, look at that.
Ask and you
So-
shall receive.
10 whole hearts.
It's creating engagement.
Yeah.
You know, it's creating engagement, and we've got a great following. It's a fellowship,
Yeah.
and I love the M2 God Gangstas, man. And these are my God Gangsters right here, and they really help me. They keep me clean and sober today.
That's great. So speaking of that, Michael, I remember when we first met, probably about a month and a half ago.
Right.
You came in and we were talking about doing a show here and working with Real News PR.
Yes.
And helping you spread your message.
Yes.
Your story is I mean, to me, it is phenomenal. About someone who at one point in time was in Highland Park building luxury homes.
Right.
Seemed to, from the world, have it all.
Right.
And then you got to a point where you were at the bottom.
Right.
You were at the lowest point in your possible life. One of the things that I often tell people when I'm talking about you and the work that you're doing is that you had to come to a point where you were sitting there and you had to admit that you were homeless.
Right.
You didn't have a dollar to your name.
Right.
And when the police were asking for your emergency contact, you had not a name to give.
Very good.
And so it's one of those kind of things that, talking about going from a place of being at the top from society standards to having to get to the bottom. The story that I like the most that I wish you could share with us here is the story about your 27th arrest and being released early. That story just is so impactful to me.
Well, and if you're local in Dallas, tomorrow night at Lake Point Church in Rockwall, I'll be sharing my story in full. It'll be an hour long. I'll be up there. I can't wait. I'm gonna have a cordless mic and I get to move around.
Nice.
This chair stuff is hard for me. I'm so hyper. You know, I got a lot of
Yeah.
energy. And but yes, I'm so glad to be a part of y'all's family with Real News Communication Network.
Yeah.
Our Real Communication. I just butcher it all the time.
You
but-
got it right. You got it right the first time you were there, yeah.
But they say surround yourself with winners, and that's what we're doing. And y'all have helped so much. And I want y'all to understand, even though that you're not a part of the disease or in recovery, y'all don't understand how many lives y'all are helping. Behind the scenes, this is a we program. It's a team deal. And Josh and your team and everybody upstairs, y'all are helping out so many people. And I love the passion, with Jeff Crilly. He's so engaged and so passionate about what we're doing, and it feeds through to everybody. So I need to get that out there, that how much that I love your family and the team of Real News.
Yep.
So, but yeah, I'm a recovering drug addict, alcoholic, and I've been fighting this disease obviously my whole life. And yes, on my 27th arrest, as a result of my decisions and my disease, I got locked up, and that was the day where I knew that the game was over. I finally, for some reason, there was something different about this one, and I knew that when I got checked in or booked in, I became that guy. I'll never forget the first time I got arrested. It was so scary that the bailiffs and everybody, they would call some people that were getting arrested by name, because this was normal to them, being arrested.
Yep.
And they were getting their mug shots. They're like, "Man, what are you doing back here?" And they knew each other's name, and it was like normal. It was like this was their way of life. And I said, "Oh my gosh, this is crazy." I became that guy. I became that guy that every time I came back in, it's like, "Come on," they call me Rabbit, when I was locked up. "Rabbit, what are you doing back in here? Come on, man, you gonna get it? You don't need to be in here, whoop-de-woo," and all that stuff. So, but when I got in there, I'll never forget when I filled out my yellow card, and it says emergency contact information, and I literally, like Josh, I literally had no one to put down. I literally had no one to put down, and the person that I was running around with, it was their phone, so the phone was gone. I didn't even have my own. I couldn't even write my own phone number down. I didn't have an address. I didn't have a phone. I didn't have anybody I could write down, and they literally stamped on this yellow card, "Indigent." And they said, and then they just yelled out, "Okay, we got a homeless one here, indigent. You need to go stand over there." And that one really stung me, because I said, I'm that guy, and I knew that the game was over. So with that said, I was, I went through the system and got, suited out, went up to my room. I was really doing hard time, and what hard time means is that you're sitting there and you're in your head and you're living in guilt, shame, remorse, really beating yourself up. I'm 49 years old, and I'm going through the last 40 years of my life, like Josh said. I had it all, but you know what? I realized I really didn't have anything. I was really in pain then. and I was in so much pain, and heck, for the first time, suicide wasn't even an option. I was just even too tired to even try to think that through, how to take my own life. And I sat there and, slowly but slowly, and I'll tease it for tomorrow night, because y'all are going to be there tomorrow night. Y'all's media crew is going to be there tomorrow night to video it. And but I'll tease it, on 7/7/17. And I didn't do anything different that night when I fell asleep. I didn't say, hey, God. And I had a belief in God. I just thought, he was really mad at me. I didn't really understand it. But I woke up at around 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm guessing. And I had an awakening like no other. And I felt like an extra. I felt like all this poison and toxin was being pulled out of my body. I felt the fear. I felt anger. I felt resentment. It was just powerful. And my cell at that time was about a 20-man tank, and 19 people were asleep. Usually someone's moving around, but it was just me awake. And it was remind me, I'm not a big movie goer, and I'll go see the popular movie, but I'll never forget the movie Green Mile.
Yeah.
And for some reason that came to my mind of all the flies coming out of his mouth. If you haven't seen the movie, you check it out. He's actually an inmate, and I felt all this trash coming out, and I was saved. I was born again, they call it. And all these crazy words that I hear in the Christian world that I used to think going, man, y'all are tripping on acid. This y'all are a witchcraft deal. I became that guy too.
Yeah.
And I became free while I was incarcerated. And I was full of so much love. And I just wanted to give back. I just loved everybody. And my life changed that day. And I was incarcerated. I accepted that I was going to be locked up for a really long time. And then one thing led to another. I went and saw Judge Jennifer Bennett. I couldn't wait to see her. I saw her. She sentenced me. I was going to go to prison, and couldn't wait to get back to my cell to be with my family, which was my cellies, is what we call it, because I was doing time, easy time. I was free, but I was locked up.
Right.
Caught chain, what they call it. They transferred me down to Central Texas. I spent 5 months down there, and then on Friday the 13th, of October of 2017, they came over the microphone and they said, we're working on our book title. We may name it this, Bunk and Junk. Michael Moulton, Bunk and Junk. Get your bunk, get your junk, and get out of here. And I had all my paperwork that I'd signed for prison.
Yeah.
And they couldn't believe it. And this doesn't happen in the state. This doesn't happen. This is a God deal, and literally was released. And I walked and traveled 300-plus miles, went straight to Judge Jennifer Bennett's court. Walked in, and she literally said, somebody bigger than me is working in your life right now, and I'm not going to get in the way, so go pay it forward. And here I am.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's just a tease, but
that's great.
So thank you.
And again, I look forward to that tomorrow, kind of watching that. If you guys want to hear more of that story, you can join him at the Lakewood Baptist Church. Is that what you said?
Lake Point Fellowship Church. It's a mega church. Yeah. It's a mega church in Rockwall. So great church.
Also, you can always join Michael on M2 The Rock Radio every Monday through Friday from 7 to 8 on 1190 a.m. Or you can also go to his Facebook page, M2 The Rock Radio.
Yes.
You can watch those shows live there and watch past shows. So take a quick break. When we come back, we have R-bombing is the next dating trend.
Oh, this could be fun.
And it could happen to you. That and more coming up next on The Lunch Break Show. I love the baby crying just at the end.
It goes south so fast.
Well, okay. Here's the first problem as we break down this video. So if you're listening to us in the audio only, it is a husband and wife, and they're doing a baby announcement where you have some sort of surprise. You pop a balloon, you light
gender
something.
reveal.
There's a
Gender reveal.
cake.
Yeah, gender reveal.
Yeah, it's a thing. Ours was a balloon stuffed with confetti, and so you pop the balloon, blue or pink. So they have, I guess, fireworks somehow that set off a blue smoke or a pink smoke, one or the other. And they put it on top, because we have one of these, one of the drying racks. So if you wash your clothes and you don't want to like look like a hillbilly and put your clothes outside on a line, they have a little like drying rack that you can like hang clothes on.
Fancier.
Yeah.
It's fancier, and no one has to know your personal your clothes. Either way, they're very unstable at best.
Not where you want to put high explosives.
Not where you want to put a giant explosive.
They're
for fireworks,
lightweight.
yeah.
They're collapsible. They're not particularly recommended for explosive ordnance.
Yeah, the big problem they have here is they have two of these on one thing.
Right.
And they light one. The guy lights his fine. The mother-to-be in her excited state couldn't quite figure out how to light hers.
Right, and as far as I can tell, that's the only problem here. Because if they'd both gone off at the same time, it would have stayed in one place. That's science.
Yeah, science.
That's
yeah,
undeniable.
Yeah.
That would have worked.
That would have planned to be flawless. However, only one went off, causing a inertia. Yeah,
there you go.
Sure.
That caused the firework canister to fall down, pointing right at the crowd.
Good night.
And so those rockets that normally would shoot, 50 or 60 feet in the air are shooting right at the loving families all there to
excited
support.
families.
Yeah,
Sounds
so
terrifying.
it's hilarious.
What a great story for the kiddo, huh? Your gender reveal party went off without a hitch. It was great.
Yeah, you came out shooting.
Check out this viral video.
So we have a story for you, and the tease is R-bombing is the new dating trend, and it's probably already happened to you. So
R-bombing.
R-bombing, and I had to look what R-bombing was because I have no idea. One of the things, so Matt and I are married. Zach has been in a long-term relationship, and Anna is also married.
I was like,
I wasn't
where
going to
do
leave
I
you
stand?
out.
We're getting
Yeah,
this. We're getting there.
I wasn't leaving you out. But however, we do have Michael Bolton still in studio.
We do.
Yes.
And Michael, you said that you're open to dating.
I am open to date, and I have been by my sponsor, my accountability partner. He says after a year of sobriety, feel free to go date. And so yes, I am on the market.
On the market.
I have not been on a date in a long. Actually, I was thinking about this the other day. I was talking to Mama P, who's a very close friend of mine, and I haven't been on a. I don't even know what it's like to date. I mean, I haven't been on a date in so long, so I'm just kind of letting it happen naturally. And
So, are you going to go to like Twitter or not
Tinder,
yeah,
Bumble.
Match.com, Bumble? Is there
Probably not.
Is
Probably
there
not.
this is something that you could think about. Is
Okay.
there a app for recovery?
I think that there is. There is an app for recovery. It's called Sober Grid. Sober Grid, which I'm on.
Oh.
It's not a dating app.
There you go.
But it's interesting. M2 The Rock, we've compiled a pretty big following. So
Yeah.
I do get my share of pretty crazy messages, and I get my share of pretty crazy invites. And it's great.
Can you share one of the crazier ones or no?
It's predictable. I mean, you can imagine.
Can imagine the
yeah,
way,
you
okay.
can imagine what it is.
Sure.
But you know what it is. And here's the interesting. This is, in all seriousness, the common denominator with all of them who are reaching out is they're starving for some sort of spiritual leader in their life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I sense that they're really lonely, and to keep looking out. But you know what? Like my life is today. God will make it bright and clear exactly where He wants me to be and who He wants me to be with. So I just let it happen. I'm so focused on the show and helping others, and y'all got me so busy I don't have time to date.
So that's what I was thinking of, though, because I know that if you're in recovery, it not makes it harder, but there is more conversations that are being had about, hey, I can't be at certain places. I don't want to be involved with certain things. I know that yours, when it comes to drugs and alcohol, you try to steer clear of all those. So going to a bar wouldn't be something that you would normally, dive into
Right.
At this point in time. So dating someone could be hard to have those conversations ahead of time. Whereas if you create an app for dating that way, everyone already knows what the deal is from the very beginning.
Yeah, and there's some people that have tried to do that. I guess Chris Christian Mingle and stuff like that. And I just, like I said, I don't want to force it. See, here's the deal in addiction and recovery. Is that, I'm a train wreck at relationships. I become a codependent. I'm sick. I'm a codependent on alcohol and drugs. Right now, I'm really focused on my relationship with God and make Him number one, and everything just falls into place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just happens. It does. I'm not obsessed by it. I used to be. It's like, man, I gotta go on a date. I gotta go do it. And what boiled down to, I was being selfish because it was for my own personal request.
Sure.
Now I just love fellowship, and I can go out with a girl and just talk, and we call it chop it up. Just get to know each other.
Yeah,
chop it up. I have never said to a girl before, "Hey, you want to go chop it up?" That's not the word I've used before.
Right.
So here's what R bombing is, because I know that's the big question. I didn't know what R bombing was.
I'm excited about this.
We've all heard of the term ghosting.
Yes.
What ghosting is when someone gives you a text or response and you just don't respond back. You just vanish.
Gotcha.
Ever.
Ever.
You're gone.
So R bombing is a ghosting light. I'm not going to reply to all of your messages. I'll reply to every fourth or fifth one.
Is this a game or is it procrastination?
It is
or
a game.
It's got to be a game. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think that has to be a control issue to me.
Yeah.
When
I think
someone's doing that,
it's especially rotten whenever someone has read receipts turned on, because
Oh,
that's the
yeah.
when you
Love
know
the
on
read
the other
receipts.
end that they've read it, but they're not responding to you, so they're just hanging out waiting.
I love read
whatever.
receipts.
but can't you decline read receipts?
What do you mean? Like
my
by,
mom.
by default, they're turned off, I think.
Yeah,
But
my
you can turn
mom
them on.
sends me a text, and I don't know why, but she has read receipts turned on.
Yeah.
And she was like, this person is asking to send a read receipt. And I always just say no.
I always, every year, I hope, on April Fool's one day, Apple will just turn them all on worldwide. For one day, everybody has read receipts on, and everybody's got to play it straight. Just to make the world a little bit more honest. I think it's a good thing. But that's just me.
So
Right.
that's the new trend right now, is that people are giving people enough time to respond. There are bombing, which is I guess called late repliers.
Yeah.
I do that. If I see a text, there was a text chain going on between these three last night at midnight.
These four. The four of us were in
four.
it. Thank you.
Yeah.
You were
Did I
in it as
reply?
well.
Did I reply?
I think you did.
Did I? Maybe
No?
I did.
I think I did. Yeah.
I consider
you
myself.
did.
I consider
Josh, you sound
myself.
like the old me. Did I do that?
It was late. It was late.
It was late.
But either way, I think that's a common thing. But
Yeah.
to me, it seems like a power struggle where you're trying to wait, let the other person yearn a little bit more for your reply. I think my mom always told me if you're too easy to get a hold of, people will think that you don't have enough friends or enough time on your hands.
Well, that's me then. I try to text people back right away. I don't like to sit and wait.
But if someone asks you, if they say, hey, can you go out for a date, or hey, what are you doing on Friday? I would like some time to go, well, do I want to go out on a date with this person or not?
Yeah.
I don't think it's fair
Well,
that I have to answer right away.
if you want to go on the date with a person or not, right? You don't have to sit there and
You got to
think
work
about
up the
it.
courage.
There have been times back when I was in my prime that somebody would ask, and you want to go on a date, and I wanted to think about it, whether or not I wanted to break my rule of never being asked out on a date. I didn't go, but I wanted time to think about it and go, I appreciate the offer. Give me a second or two to mull it over, and then I'll respond back in an hour or so. So I think that's fair, because that person.
I think an hour is reasonable.
That person has had all day to think about the comment they wanted to make, so it's fair that you get the same time to respond.
I think R bombing, the problem with that is there's two issues. One, if you're the kind of person who would do that intentionally to somebody else, that's messed up. And two, if you're the kind of person who's so dependent on waiting on somebody else's reply that you shoot them 4 or 5 messages in a row, you got problems.
You gotta be cool, man. You
You're
gotta
both
be
in a
cool.
weird
You gotta
spot.
send
yeah,
one
so
and then
either
let it
way, I
go.
think it's
I'm
dangerous,
gonna be
but I
honest.
don't know.
I'll always forget. If I don't do something right there and then,
Yeah.
I'll forget. So I'll be the kind of person that will throw all the answers for everything and then probably do something else, and then I see and I don't reply, and 5 hours later I'm like, damn.
I'm telling you, embrace anarchy. Turn on those read receipts. Do
Yes.
it. Make yourself accountable. It works.
Now
I'm
tell
telling
me
you.
again real quick. R bombing is what again?
Go ahead.
No, R bombing is when someone replies to you. So if I'm a lady and I say, "Hey, Michael, I'd love to get to go and cut it up with you."
Chop it up.
chop it up with you. I was close. I got the action right.
All right, you're right. I'm riding with you.
Yeah. If I want to chop it up with you, maybe at a Starbucks or something.
If a
on
girl
Saturday.
ever says that to me, I'm gonna run.
Right.
But go ahead.
yeah, that could be a
I'm gonna
different
chop
thing.
you up.
And then you go, you know what? I wanna sit on that for 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 hours and think about whether or not I want to do that, or make her think, hey, he's got a lot going on. I'm so busy. I got so many things on my plate. M2 doesn't have time to respond back quickly. He's got things going on. He's hustling and bustling in meetings and trying to get sponsorship. All those different things you got going on. I don't have time to stop down and answer every request for my time. That's our bombing.
Gotcha.
So sometimes people can send you 3 or 4 messages before you respond back once.
Gotcha.
It's just intentionally ignoring people.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm
But
not
not
saying it's a
fully.
good thing to do.
Making them wait.
Yeah. So
Well, you know what? I'm guilty of that. I'm guilty of that, but one thing, what it is one message comes in, my critical path is changing every phone call. It's like I want to return this message, and boom, I get a phone call from Real News.
Oh, yeah.
I got to take a left-hand turn and go here and all
Right.
that.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, at night, it's like, oh my gosh, I didn't text this person back. I'll do it
Yeah.
tomorrow, and then I get lost.
Yep.
Well, M2, thank you so much for joining us on
Yes.
the show today.
So good.
Don't forget to check out M2 The Rock Radio on 1190 iHeart Radio every Monday through Friday from 7 to 8. And you can also join us right here on the Lunch Break Show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 12 until 1. We love your feedback. We love your commentary. Please like, subscribe, and follow. Michael, I'll see you around.
Love
sir.
you guys.
We're gonna
Appreciate
come,
you.
We're going to come right back on the Lunch Break Show.
We are crazy. Wakariwood is coming for you.
From Wakariwood, Uganda, home of the best movies. Super soldiers.
By the way, who killed Captain Harris? Europe, Portugal, Japan, Russia, America, Australia, Spain. You killed Captain Harris. We are coming for you. Yes, sir. Attack!
What the hell? Olympus God. Jesus, fool. New York City? New York City! Oh no!
I guess I forgot to put a timer on that to
fine.
indicate when it would stop.
Fine.
What?
So
I am always surprised at just the buffoonery that we find. Where was that?
nothing but
That's what Collywood.
that's Hollywood,
Yeah.
right? So that's a is it Uganda?
Yeah.
I guess yeah. Hollywood is like Bollywood or Hollywood, but in Uganda, it's folks in Uganda who want to make movies. So that's the kind of stuff they make, and that is a promo for them and the work they do. One quick aside before we pass right over that to get to the next topic. I feel like so many people today, kids, people who want to be in movies, they go to college like I did and spend money. and they think, oh, I'll just learn it, I'll figure it out. Like nowadays we have phones, it's easier than ever to create content, put on the internet, and these guys do it every day. They're not afraid of like the low production
they're churning
quality.
out stuff all the time.
They're churning out stuff all the time. So mad respect, guys.
And they made it to the lunch break.
They made it to the lunch break.
Yeah, the big times.
That's right.
Hey,
home.
I just got a update news alert.
Oh.
Breaking news.
Oh.
We all love video games here. I'm going to assume even Anna loves some video games. Yes, Anna loves video games as well.
Right.
Big fat no on that one.
Yeah.
GameStop. This comes from my friend Josh Reeder. GameStop is getting rid of their Elite Pro membership.
Aren't you on that, Matt?
I'm on the Pro membership, but there's another tier
Oh, there's a
above
tier
that
above that.
that I did not sign up for.
That's
no.
great. I was in that for
Which
a
is
minute.
good because that thing was garbage.
The GameStop again. I'm just reading the headlines. I haven't read the story.
Right. No context.
It just says
Sure.
GameStop Power Up Elite Pro membership shutdown. So there you go.
Well, that's a bummer.
You heard it here first.
Power Up Elite
you go.
Pro. GameStop's in dire straits. I heard they were
you
looking for a
gamers out there.
buyer.
Yeah.
I heard they're not doing that great.
Not looking
Dallas
that good.
based.
Yeah.
Dallas based. Great
Grapevine
place.
based.
DFW. Come on.
All right, I'm just throwing out some love to Grapevine.
So we were gonna have a guest on, and then he decided he saw us and decided he did not want to join our show.
Shocking.
I want to talk real quick, and I say real quick because I don't want this to get too political or too deep. I don't think that's a good place for us as a.
I don't know that's a fear for this group, but
yeah. I want to look at this plastic gun thing. We were going to talk about it on Monday, and we didn't get to it, and now it's made every single national news headline.
Yeah.
Everyone's freaking out about it. And what it is, if I'm not mistaken, I'm sure y'all may have read more about it than me, is that they're fighting the blueprints to be released for 3D gun printing. So you can put your computer program into print off a gun. There's a blueprint out there to get that done.
Yeah.
And you can now, I guess, buy it or you can find it online, whatever it is.
Sure.
And you can hit print on your computer if you have a 3D printer, and it'll print off the plastic parts that you could assemble that will fire a gun. Is that correct?
You can print the whole thing. You can print all the parts necessary and put it together like Legos. A little bit more complicated than that. And you can fire weapons and bullets out of it. I guess I'm trying to say.
I am going to say I'm pro gun. I'm pro sensible gun. I'm not an advocate. I think my personal beliefs. You can obviously disagree. We should have sensible laws passed that shut down like the bump stocks being illegal. I'm totally fine with that, which is a law that's passed. You shouldn't have to have an AR-15 for home use. That doesn't make any sense to me. Those kind of things I'm for having a conversation about, but I'm not anti-gun.
Right.
However, people have lost their mind over this. I saw there was a guy on the Senate floor or the House floor yesterday, and he was banging his hand against a plastic AR-15 or an assault rifle, because that's what they love to do, is find the very worst case scenario, and saying this will find its way into a movie theater near you, into a school near you. This will be the next Armageddon, and arming our students and our kids across America.
Right.
And I don't think that is true. Do I want the blueprints to be out there? Probably not. Because why? Why have it?
Right.
But do I think that I think they're using this to go, we have a hard stance against plastic guns, and I think that's unnecessary.
Right. Okay. A couple things here. If I can jump in on this,
Please.
I'm sure you both have thoughts, and I'm Matt. First, I would wager going up against the blueprints doesn't make any sense. Remember what was it? The Anarchist Guide cookbook?
The Anarchist Cookbook.
Anarchist Cookbook. You can download
I had that
anywhere.
as a kid.
Yeah, exactly.
I was making blowguns. I'll say it.
I could hop on, not to advertise any one website in particular. I can hop on the Pirate Bay right now and find blueprints to a 3D gun. I'll bet, no problem. So, kudos on trying to stop it. It doesn't matter. 2, you can manufacture guns in the U.S. Any private citizen can. You are allowed to do that. If you are a blacksmith, you can blacksmith your own gun. You are welcome to do that. That is not a problem. That hasn't been a problem. So for the people who are flipping out about that, it's okay, well, I get why you're concerned about this now because it seems more clear and present than it did before, but this has always been a thing. This has always been a possibility. And it's not particularly easy to do, like Josh, you were quick to point out. It's not exactly cheap to go out and buy a 3D printer. A 17-year-old doesn't have $500, I assume, or whatever it costs to buy an industrial 3D printer, because it's not like you can't buy a kid's 3D printer for $19.99 at Barnes & Noble and do this. You gotta.
It's
you got to
gonna
have a
be
little bit more.
It's going to have some more girth to it.
3, I think the biggest reason people are concerned about this, at least I hope, is because plastic guns aren't detectable in metal detectors, right?
Sure.
That should be the biggest conversation here, I think. That would make the most sense to me. And I don't know if the solution is to mandate some kind of, you got to be 18 to buy spray paint, right? Maybe we need to go that way. You can't buy plastic for a 3D printer unless you're 18 or older. Maybe that's the way to do it. Maybe there's some kind of, I don't know, liquid polymer with a certain amount of iron they can work in. So if you walk through a metal detector with a 3D printed device, it will set off. I don't know. But like maybe we should shift the conversation like a little bit.
Yep.
Because you're right. Like at the end of the day, like this is an inevitable thing. Someday somebody's going to 3D print a car, and Ford's going to be pissed about it. So like, well, you're printing cars now. Anybody can do. Yeah, I guess. But that's innovation. It comes with a cost.
So there are laws already that cover some of this stuff.
Yeah.
There is the Undetectable Firearms Act, which says you cannot make, receive, or produce a gun that cannot be detected in a metal detector. That's been on the books for a few decades.
Sure.
That generally applies to large gun manufacturers, not the individuals. So I guess if you were making 3D printed guns and selling them, that would run afoul of that act, but it doesn't tell you that you can't make your own undetectable gun and then use it if you want to. If you want to. I assume that they'll probably revisit that at some point and maybe try to expand the scope of that law to include 3D printed guns that you make at home individually. But right now it doesn't cover that. So that is a concern if you're talking about someone who is making their own and going to do something with it. If they're making it and selling it, then I would assume that they're doing so illegally. So
right.
But yeah, I don't know. As with any of this stuff, I generally support the idea that you could own a firearm if you want to. But I think we ought to look at where we're headed with technology and say, I don't assume that the Second Amendment was written with the express idea that 3D printers would be available
I don't know.
More and more easily accessible as time goes on.
I don't know if when the Founding Fathers wrote the Bible that they knew that that was a possibility that 3D printed guns were a thing. So maybe a little bit of a shift around that, maybe just a hair, but I don't know.
I'm just tired of the grandstanding of the guy who has all up in arms and he's trying to they're trying to scare you into thinking that a 8-year-old is going to go out and find a hardware store and buy the little plasticky stuff.
No, it doesn't work that way.
And it's not. Right. Should it exist? No. But Zach's right. Will it exist? 100%.
Yeah, this is inevitable.
It's going to happen. You can't stop it. So at least let's go ahead and get laws in the books that are intelligent that can actually break this stuff down. Again, I don't want to get too far in the weeds because we're not a political show.
This may be
I assume you have thoughts on this?
Yeah.
I just think
that's the greatest. That long pause and eye roll of American problems. Right. You Americans and your dumb problems.
Anna, please. The floor
I'll be
is
honest.
yours.
I do agree with Zach. The only thing that I'm going to add is I actually know someone who owns a company in the UK. His job is actually to provide training to companies that have 3D printers and how to use them. Because creating a model for something to be printed in 3D isn't easy. And so actually it's a really complex process that if you skip one part of it, it's kind of like building a house, right? Like it's even more complex than just building a house and putting up walls. Because if at some point in the structure there's no kind of support, the whole thing will collapse.
Right.
So a part of me is really delighted to see what kind of guns will be created with air quotes.
Right.
You know, like the fails.
Right.
And all I think about is that movie Existence with the Z with Jude Law.
Yes.
Do you know that one?
Yeah.
Where he makes a gun out of a chicken skeleton or
MacGyver's
whatever.
a gun?
It's so weird. So that's all I'm thinking about is that weird gun.
If I get shot to death, I want it to be from a chicken bone gun. At least well done, sir.
Yeah.
You wanted
You
me
got
to be
me.
dead.
He died like he lived.
I do like how Seth Denson is ghosting on the conversation.
Yeah, well done.
And a shameless plug for his own show,
yeah.
which is a phenomenal show, somewhere in the middle.
They did address that this week.
We did.
Yeah.
It was a whole conversation. It was really good show, actually. Let me, real quick, before we segue out of this, I think this is the first time ever in the lunch break you both said that Zach was right about something. So I think that's an accomplishment. Hey, yeah.
Got to call out.
How about that? And he applauds for himself. Yeah, that's...
Take a quick break. When we come back, we have some food news for you. Someone was upset about the photos taken at their restaurant. We'll dive into it. Was the restaurant right? Was the consumer wrong? We'll find out more.
I don't do. I say that he used to talk like that.
Do you, Michael Caine?
Okay. I say Michael Caine used to talk like this in the 1960s, right? But that has changed. And I say that over the years, Michael's voice has come down several octaves. Let me finish. And all of the cigars and the brandy, don't let me finish, can now be heard. Okay. I've not finished in the back of the voice and the voice now. I've still not finished. The voice.
You're panicking.
Because you look like you're about to bloody talk. Let me finish. Right, so, Michael Caine's voice now in the Batman movies and in Harry Brown. I can't go fast because Michael Caine talks very, very slowly.
Right, this is how Michael Caine speaks. Michael Caine speaks to his nose like that. He gets very, very specific. It's very like that. When he gets loudly, it gets very loud indeed.
What did we just watch?
Yeah. That was a clip from, I don't even remember the show, out of the BBC. And it was just, it's two comedians over there talking about Michael Caine impressions. And all that was like, that guy had a good Michael Caine impression. So
he did, yeah. The other guy did not have a good Michael Caine.
It gets better. It's a longer clip,
okay.
But yeah.
So, restaurant is upset that diner posted video of their wormy food.
Wormy.
And I say wormy because they found a worm. Go ahead and play that clip.
Yeah, here.
New Jersey, and that is a live worm.
I hope you didn't eat any of those. I ate all this.
That just crawled out of the food. So not only did we sit through almost our entire dinner without drinks, but now dinner has come to life.
Why don't you get our waitress or something?
So here's my question. The odds of that happening are pretty slim. The odds of it being a parasitic food weren't what?
No, you're right. The odds are slim. Where are you going with this?
The odds are slim.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it didn't happen.
Sure.
I have seen reports of people bringing in food and bringing in animals and putting it in their food and putting nail clippings and all, like Band-Aids and all different kind of stuff in there.
Fingers.
Here's my question, though. The worm is interesting to me. If it would have been something else that was easily like put in there, I would be like, fake news. But with a worm, it takes much more dedication. Because you can't kill it first and then put it in there. It has to be moving around alive to really sell it.
Right, and that thing it doesn't look like it's not like an earthworm.
No.
That's clearly like some sort of weird
That's hard to find.
parasite.
If it's an earthworm or one of those, but no, I'm out. You went outside, dug around, found an earthworm, brought it inside.
Yeah.
Right.
This is a worm that I would expect to see in food.
If it had been an earthworm, that would have been hilarious.
It's
just like an earthworm and noodles. Like, come on.
It's a caterpillar. Like, no. But first question for me is, do you believe this to be true?
Isn't the client always right?
Well, first they didn't get their drinks. So
Well, yeah, I mean, beside that, they were already upset, apparently, and that's why you pull your phone out. Have y'all guys found anything like that in your food before?
Never.
No. Every once in a while you find like hair, hair.
Yeah,
or something.
I found hair on a number of occasions, but
Yeah.
never something live and moving around that came from the kitchen.
Is a hair ever worth a send back for you? Do you send that food back? No, it never is for me.
No, not really. I guess it depends on how much. If I keep finding hair, I'm going to be like, okay, there's something going on. If it's one piece, I mean, it could have come from anywhere.
But that's the worst.
It could have come from me.
Right?
Like, I don't know.
What if you're chewing and you have to pull it out of your mouth? Then do you take it back?
I assume it's mine and I move on.
Just move on.
I do
I don't
not
think about it.
My brain can't comprehend that nightmare.
So here's my other thought I had, is that the restaurant is upset There's a family celebrating their birthday. They find a worm in their food, and they video it, and they post it online, which, of course, they're going to do that.
Yeah, of course.
The restaurant is upset that the diner posted it online. That is the worst position to put yourself in. Like, I'm mad at you for shaming us.
Yeah.
When it should have been, I'm mad that we didn't have the standards that we should have had in the very beginning to either prevent this or to say, sir, there is absolutely zero way that food was in here from our kitchen.
I mean, I get it. They're the proprietor. Of course they're mad. Of course they're mad that they post online. But you don't say that on the internet. No, you keep that to yourself and you say, oh my God, we don't know what happened. We'd like to speak with this person directly and investigate. We'd like to file a formal thing. Whatever. Yeah, you don't get on and be like, we're upset you posted this. Like, that's no good. That doesn't make it any better.
Yeah, they were at Stella's Marina Bar and Restaurant in, of course, in New Jersey. And this worm came out of her cod.
Can we get Sarah Strackhouse down here to talk about this?
Yeah. So that's fishier to me, is that the worm came out of a cod. Doesn't make sense to me.
Well, Megan pointed out here in the comments.
Yeah, it could be in seafood. Yeah.
Yeah, right. There's packaging, like there's videos of packaging, sealed packaging that has the worms coming out of it. That was my point. I was going to say that I've seen countless videos where and kind of like if you see these kind of worm in your food, you know, it's compromised. Don't even eat it.
Right, and this is where I want to dig into the context of the video, and I want to make a couple points about when you're going to make a complaint about something on video. One, don't actively complain in the video. Just be quiet. We don't need to hear that you didn't get your drinks. Yeah, like I don't care. Like I'm here for the worm action. I don't care how your experience was.
Just show me that hot worm action.
Give me some context. Film the room. All right, I want to see, is it night or day? What kind of restaurant is this? All I get is a close up of your gross food. I can't even tell what kind of meal that is. And 3, sir, if you're ordering the seafood, you already know you're taking a risk. And I'm not saying that's on you. I'm not saying you're accepting that you're going to eat worms. But what I'm saying is when you sit down in a restaurant to eat seafood, you know you might get a little something odd, all right? And what if this guy's
eat seafood.
What if this guy's on mainland Midwest Texas with no seafood around in sight, you know? Like what if he's out in the middle of nowhere? He could be at some hokey Chinese buffet out on the side of the road for all I know, eating sushi out of a warmer under a heat lamp that's been there for a year. Like I have no idea. I don't have any context. The man didn't film the room. So yeah, I'm not trying to blame the victim here, but
it's his fault.
If you're gonna shame a restaurant, do it right.
Also, film it in landscape, please.
Yeah, come on,
what are you doing?
Fill us in for the rest of us. But it is a bummer.
Take a quick break, and I mean a really quick break. So when we come back, we have an exciting game we're gonna play here about where your fruit comes from. That and more coming up next on the Lunch Break Show. And like I said, an extremely short break. We're back, and we're going to talk about a game show, something that Matt brought up to us before we got started on the show, and he was talking about they did a survey in the UK, which... survey in the UK questioning about whether or not they knew where their fruits came from. I'm from East Texas. And at first, I was scared of this quiz because I thought it was going to be like where they come from regionally. Yeah. And I was going to be like, I wouldn't get that.
Your answer was the Piggly Wiggly. That's where all the fruits come from.
Yeah, got it. Nailed it. Nailed it. So now we're talking about these were the top 5 where people did not know where the fruits came from.
Yeah, so these were kids in the UK that were, I think, between 8 and 12. They surveyed 1,000 or so. Oh, and they were just asked them, do you know how your fruits are grown? Like, do you know where is it? Apples were at the very bottom of the list. 20% of kids, though, didn't know that apples came from trees. 21%.
Stupid.
They didn't have Johnny Appleseed trolling around in the UK. So.
Right, exactly. They were not born with that knowledge. Coconuts, 26% didn't know where coconuts came from. 26% didn't know where oranges came from. 30% didn't know where mangoes or pears came from.
Didn't that have trees in the UK?
I guess not. I don't know.
A lot of red, white, and shade in this bit.
So I pulled the top of the list. These are all above 90%. Did not know where these 5 fruits came from.
Okay, these are fruits.
These are all fruits.
All right. Okay.
We'll start at the least, or we'll start at the one that most people know. This is 93%. Did not know where bananas came from. How are bananas grown?
Trees.
Yeah, in high
In
trees.
Yeah.
In high trees.
You don't have to. Yeah, no context. You can just say trees. Yeah,
trees. Okay, trees.
That is incorrect. They're not grown on a tree. It looks like a tree. It is not a tree.
Is it a bush?
It is an herb. It is technically an herb. So it is not a tree, even though they are colloquially called banana trees.
Okay.
They're
Are
not
you
trees.
telling me 93% of kids didn't know that a banana tree is an herb? Because if that's the case,
Just
this is-
saying.
I'm
They're
calling
not
this
grown
whole
on a
thing
tree.
into question.
Let's continue.
Go
Let's
ahead.
continue.
Sorry.
Cranberries. How are cranberries grown?
We better all go different answers, so at least one of us
No,
gets it
we all
right.
have to agree.
Okay.
Cranberries are grown in the ground. They're grown like in a small, and I want to say a vine, like a little plant, but
okay.
I want to say plant.
Okay, I thought cranberries were grown in some kind of like man-made lake, right?
No, that's where they're harvested. Like
Okay,
they put
they're
in their
harvested in
they go off the ground. They put them in a little like man-made that kind of soak.
Yeah,
them.
it's like a
yeah.
Okay, so on a vine, I would guess.
I would say something like a bush.
Okay. It is a vine. They are grown on a vine. 94% did not know that cranberries were grown on a vine.
Throw Ann on that list.
95% now. Strawberries. How are strawberries grown?
Vine.
I've seen, vine. I've seen them.
Vine. You know, I'll go tree. I'll be honest. I was going to say tree.
It's a little tree.
You're all wrong. They're not vines. It's simply just like ground cover. There's a plant, but they are not a vine. And they are not a bush either.
I've seen strawberries. My sister has them. They're really little. They're off the ground like this much.
Yes, but it is not technically a vine, so they are not grown on a vine.
Stupid science.
Stupid.
96% raspberries. How are raspberries grown?
Oh,
Okay, I've seen these. These are vines.
me too. Yeah.
I'll go a bush.
Okay.
The thing is, I don't technically know what states as a vine and what states as a bush. I got stung by those, so picking them up.
Yeah, they have little like spikes.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, is that a vine if it has spikes? Is that a bush? I don't know. I guess I'll say a bush.
They are grown on vines. Raspberries are grown on vines.
Vine. All right.
And then again, 96% kiwi. How are kiwi
Oh man,
grown?
this is tough.
This will be a difficult one.
I'm not a kiwi fan.
This is the top one. People did not know how
God,
kiwis are grown.
I cannot remember the
I'm
last.
going to the audience here. If you guys want to post where kiwis are born,
There might be a little bit of lag.
I'm going to the audience here. Sure you are.
I'm on Facebook. I'm looking at it.
He's on
We
Facebook.
get away
That's
with
valid.
the 30-second difference, I guess.
Anybody want to just field a guess on what?
I'm going to say plants.
Just a
I
plant.
would say, like, really.
Are you saying as opposed to a
comes from a
tree or a
plant.
vine?
As opposed to an animal or a fungus.
Right, yeah, okay.
Kiwi is a vine.
I'll go.
So kiwi is vine.
I'll lean way out. I'll go tree.
And any thoughts?
Tegan is saying tree as well. So
Clearly,
I'm
I
gonna go
don't
tree.
know. So either way, I'm
trust
wrong. I
Tegan
think.
on this.
I'm gonna go
tree bush.
with
Tree bush.
with a vine.
Kiwis are grown on vines.
Oh.
Yes.
All right.
No,
Clearly,
not grown on trees.
the confidence in my voice.
That East Texas homegrown.
I only got two
Kiwis.
wrong.
I know you guys grow a lot of kiwi, banana, and cranberry out there.
Well, we
so
don't
that
grow a lot
makes
of banana
sense.
trees in East Texas.
Banana
but,
herbs.
But why are they called banana trees then? It's because people are mean?
Common misconception. I
I
guess?
think they look similar to a tree, but they are not trees.
Can we get a
Do we have a
photo?
picture?
I don't,
Yeah,
I don't
there's
think they don't have any
banana,
wood.
Banana herb, please.
Right.
Banana leaves are super popular in home decor, so
Yeah.
that's why I'm like, what the hell are you
But to be a
talking about?
tree or a bush, they would have to have wood, and bananas don't. That's not how they're grown.
How does the
You can't-
herb handle the weight?
I don't know.
Yeah,
They're just
you
giant.
can't.
not
You, there's,
heavy.
you tell me you can't get wood out of a banana,
They're like a
banana
massive
herb. That's a thing.
Yeah.
A big. Can we get a photo? Like I'm dying here. I
Can we
gotta
find,
see
like,
this
banana
now.
plants?
My whole life is turning upside down.
Okay, 1 second.
That
Yeah.
looks like wood to me on that tree. Oh,
I'll
sorry,
find you a
that
banana plant.
herb.
It's like being a tomato, being a fruit.
I gotta-
guess it's the same category.
I know.
I'm
Here's-
so mad
well,
right now.
that's-
You did the best out of all of us.
You guys vamp. I'm getting you a picture of banana plants.
You're getting me all. Yeah, you're getting me all keyed up here. Banana
All right.
herb. Anna, you didn't know that, did you? I didn't know that.
I have no idea.
No, I'll be
Banana
honest.
tree is not a tree.
I know what I'm about.
It is not a tree. I'm gonna have to just drag this over somehow
Yeah.
here. Sorry,
Everybody's
live production,
talk
folks. I know
amongst
everybody,
themselves.
everybody
Yeah.
loves
So
this.
Sorry.
it's not a tree because it does not contain woody tissue.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it is.
There you go. There's a picture. It's It's just a
Okay.
There you
stalk,
go.
basically. It's not
Yeah,
a.
sorry for the long conversations, but you learned something today, folks, on the lunch break show. Bananas are in
Yeah.
fact a herb, or a plant. I would have never have known that. If I
Pineapples came in close. 88% didn't know how pineapples were grown.
That's definitely trees.
They're grown on the ground.
Pineapples?
Pineapples are grown on the ground. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
What am I thinking
little-
of?
Now that Josh has said what I was gonna say, yeah, of course they're growing on the ground, Josh. Yeah,
I've been to the plantation in Hawaii.
They're on the ground.
You were scammed.
I was scammed.
Yeah.
I got some hoodwinked tour of just a bunch of trees. This is where all the pineapples are.
Yeah.
Oh, dadgummit. All right,
I think
folks,
some
that
dude
is-
just took you to his backyard.
yeah. I got taken for a ride. This will be our show for today. Join us on Friday right here on the Lunch Break Show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 12 to 1. Please like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, and join us on Friday at 12 o'clock.
Yeah.